In this section, I want to add the idea of variables to code. A variable in the computer is sort of like a box. So here, if I have code like this where I say x is equal to 7, semicolon, what that means is there's a box in the computer labeled x, as I've drawn here, and this just stores a 7 into that box, or we could store any value we wanted. Then later in the code, if wherever an x appears, the computer knows to use 7 or whatever it is I put in there. So in effect, the variable becomes sort of a convenient shorthand for whatever value I want to use. So let me show you how this is going to work typically in CS101. I'll have a line like this, x equals 7, so that just puts a 7 in the box. And then on the later lines, I will use that variable. So I'll say here it says print x or lucky x or x is x. So let me just try running that. And what you see is the 7 just shows up through here because any place I used x, the computer is pulling the value out of the box. This makes it convenient to change. So for example, if I change this to x equals 42 and run it, now the 42 shows up all over the place. Or it works for strings too. I could say x equals quote high quote and run it. And we get the high all through there. I should mention this use of equals to in the computer just puts a value in the box. That's the only way we're going to use it. In mathematics, the equal sign has a different and kind of a stronger meaning. In mathematics, the equal sign means the two values are the same at all times. And that is not what it means in the computer. In this use, it is a simpler, just assign value into box. So let me try, let me work this little problem. So this says, write code to produce this output. Alice, Alice, Alice. I had a crush on Alice. And it says, do it in a way that we can change the name very easily. So use a variable. I put a little code here to start just to remind you of the syntax, but this doesn't do anything like what we wanted. So I'll fix it. So I'm going to say x is equal to quote Alice. And then inside of here, I'll just say x, x, x. We'll just try this. This is not a complete solution, but let's just try it as we go. So if I run that, right, we get the 3 Alices, and then I had a crush on thing. So I'll say print, quote, I had a crush on, comma, and then I'll say x. So that way it'll just use whatever we had in the box there. So if I run that, all right, that looks right. And then this has the desired feature that if I change this to like, if I just say x equals Zoe at the top, then it just says Zoe, or I can say, Bob or whatever, or, blah, let's say. Then like it just shows up all of it. So this shows this kind of shorthand nature of variables, and that's the way we're going to use them in CS101. So that's how to use variables in code. So try it yourself now on the exercises.